Hey everyone, welcome to the Hustle Faithfully podcast where determination meets devotion.
You can find us on all streaming platforms at www.hustlefaithfully.com. Well, Ricardo, last week we talked about operating at ground zero and doing it in honesty.
Yeah.
This week it's going to be operating at ground zero, being aware of your deficiencies.
Yep.
But I don't have deficiencies, so what am I going to be aware of?
You missed the first episode.
Exactly.
I mean, that's why I made the statement in that first episode that this is what we be talking about in this episode, because if you're honest with yourself, that means you will have to be aware of deficiencies that you have, but because you'll make yourself aware of them.
That's right.
Because there is a honest self-assessment that takes place. But it isn't just an honest self-assessment. It's also having the ability to allow other people to give honest feedback to you, as they too, people that are close to you, that are kind of close to the goal, can give you an honest assessment of what they see. And then you be willing to and humble enough, because honesty in and of itself isn't enough. Being aware of it yourself isn't enough, but will you allow someone else to tell you things that they see that maybe you were not aware of? Didn't mean you weren't honest about what you see. It just means you were completely unaware to even see it.
Absolutely. But this is a challenging situation.
Mm-hmm.
This is looking internally to see your shortcomings, looking at yourself to know I am not equipped to do this. I am not educated enough to do this.
Right.
I am not whatever, fill in the blank. Isn't that really self-sabotage? Aren't you really beating yourself up and you're getting yourself down and depressed, and then you just want to give up on everything else?
Actually, it's the opposite of self-sabotage. Self-sabotage would be me driving a car with all the warning lights coming on, check engine, change oil, these codes coming on, and I ignore it because I don't want to deal with the issue. That would be self-sabotage. Self-sabotage isn't admitting that there's an issue because you see the signs, the warning signs of it, and then addressing it. Yeah, it may let you know that you got a lemon right now and you're driving, or you got or the car is right now, it's crap right now. But if you don't address it, you will sabotage the car's ability to function at all. So if I don't allow myself to really be honest about the warning signs that I see and the issues that I see and the things that are going on, and I ignore them because, well, it'll make me feel bad, or I'm not going to like the person that I am right now, then you will be complicit in your own sabotage, because it would be an inside job. It won't be someone outside. It'd be an inside job. And you'll look back and wonder, how did this happen? Or how did I get to this point? Or how did I lose my hope? Or how did I lose my ability to believe? And how did I lose this, that, and the other? Because you stole it. It was an inside job. No one had to get in to do it. The culprit was already inside of you, So that would be self-sabotage more so than anything.
So you're talking about taking an internal look at yourself. What's the ultimate goal, though? If we're operating at ground zero and we are looking internally and being aware of our deficiencies and having our friends and having our loved ones look at us to point out deficiencies, what good is that going to do us?
Well, one, it helps you reposition. Because let me tell you something. If you were in the same place you were before when you were hit the last time, you're more likely to get hit again by the same thing.
That's right.
Because you haven't repositioned. You're in the same place you were in last time. The last time this quote unquote sniper took aim and hit you. You're in the same place. It won't be hard to hit you again. Someone who means to sabotage your marriage. Someone who means to sabotage your business, someone who means to undermine your walk with God or your faith. If you're in the same place you were before, you got the same weakness, you have the same issues. They don't have to do anything different because you didn't give them a different target.
Right.
So that repositioning yourselves it allows you to reposition for growth. It allows you to reposition so that you're in a better place to deal with challenges because you've dealt with the last challenge. And anything that's going to come at you is also going to have to adapt or adjust because you're not in the same place. So if it's going to hit you, it's going to have to do something different.
So it's about growth. Again, just like we talked about last week. You look at where you have the shortcomings and you take care of it so that they are no longer shortcomings.
Right.
Does this process ever end, though? Because once you take care of shortcoming A, life's just peachy from then on, right?
Man, let me tell you, the greatest teacher you will ever find is one who is a constant student.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I stay in a place of knowing nothing, then that means I can learn something, because I make room for things. I make room for growth. I make room for knowledge, and I create a zero echo chamber, type of lifestyle where it isn't just my thoughts. It isn't just my words. It isn't just what I want or what I think that I listen to. There, I allow other people that know the goal, that are close to the goal, that care enough about me to want to see me achieve the goal. I allow them to speak into my life. I have people I can be honest with. I have people that I can be open with. I have people that I can be vulnerable with. I can't be all those things with everybody,
right?
But I can be one or two of those things with most people that I know in some way, people that are close to me. But there are certain people that I can be all three of those things with. So I have to be willing to allow people to speak into the areas of my life that I gave them access to. Because if I didn't, why do they have access to me at all if they can't speak into that part of my life? So then I got to evaluate either myself, why am I choosing to allow them here, or evaluate them if they don't have anything to offer me in this area and can't speak into my life in any way that allows me to move closer to the goal. Why are they here? Are they drawing from me and they using me to get to where they need to, or am I using them? There's this two-way thing sometimes that's unhealthy on both sides. So I mean, there's a need to have, like I said, a zero echo chamber type of lifestyle where I allow myself to be spoken into by the right people.
Would the right people be a situation where you go out and hire a mentor and then you have to spend thousands of dollars a month or tens of thousands of dollars a month on that mentor? Or can you find them in other ways? Or are the mentors even good for this type of situation?
Mentors are great to have. The right mentor is better to have.
Right.
And they don't always have to be someone who is that you hire outside of your immediate sphere or whatnot, because sometimes the greatest resources are the one that's closest to you. But because they're close to you, you get so familiar with them that you lose appreciation for what they have to offer and who they are. So it's one of those things, like your wife may be your greatest resource when it comes to helping you grow. But because you're used to her and used to her being around, used to her doing the things that she does, used to her saying what she says, used to her consistently being here or doing those things, you come to expect it in a way where you don't even think about it and you lose appreciation for it.
Yep.
So you're not even open to hear different things and see different things and receive different things because your expectations of her to do and be what she's always done and what she's always been. That's and you don't even appreciate that, let alone something new.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's the people around you that have the ability to be able to help you grow in ways that you never thought you could grow and you never thought they could offer, because you've gotten so familiar to them that you don't think they could give you anything or offer you anything more than what they're offering you.
Right. That's an interesting point that you bring up, and I could relate with it so well. With what you said about my wife. And I know it wasn't from a conversation that we had,
right?
Yet she and I had a conversation very recently about how I always talk about how certain people support me and encourage me and believe in me. And I name the people, and she knows exactly who they are because she knows my circle. I know her circle, and we have a joint circle.
Right.
And she said, but the thing is, there's so many times that you discredit the fact that I believe in you, that I encourage you. And you even made the comment, and I'm guilty. She
Yeah.
said, I'm your wife, so I'm supposed to.
Right.
Now, although I do agree with my statement,
Mm-hmm.
she's my wife. She's supposed to support me. I'm her husband. I'm supposed to support her.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always the case. I've
Right.
been in a marriage where I didn't get that support.
Right.
My wife is the most supportive person I have ever had around me, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, sometimes that person is closest to you,
Yeah.
but you take it for granted.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you just expect it,
Yeah.
but it can always leave.
Mm-hmm.
It can always dry up, no matter what that looks like.
Right.
Do not take for granted who you have there supporting you and encouraging you.
Mm-hmm.
They may just be the person to push you over that ledge of success, over that ledge of happiness, over
Mhm.
whatever your ledge is. And they see your deficiencies.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that just makes me in awe of my wife is the fact that she sees my deficiencies,
Yeah.
yet she's there to encourage everything around it.
Mm-hmm.
She is the reason that I have achieved in the business world.
Yeah.
I have achieved more success since we've been together. And that's 6 years out of my 41-year-old life.
Yeah.
I've achieved more success in that 6 years than I did in the previous 35 years.
Yeah.
One of, if not the biggest reasons, is because I have a wife there that is constantly putting her foot up my rear end in a very good way,
Mm-hmm.
in a very supportive way, in a
Yeah.
very encouraging way. There are those times when I have not believed in myself, where I've felt down, where I didn't get out of the bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she would come in and support me and encourage me.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't come in and belittle me. Why are you laying in the bed? Don't you know this needs to be done? Don't you know that needs to be done? She met me where I was at,
Mm-hmm.
even though where I was at was not a good spot.
Right.
Where I was at was not a good place in my head, in my heart, and life. She met me there and encouraged me.
Mm-hmm.
And as of the day of this recording, it's been 3 days now.
Mm-hmm.
She made the comment. She said, Jonathan, you've been different recently. And I said, what do you mean? She said, I think it's because you're laser focused again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the person that I have been over the last little bit
Mm-hmm.
has not been who I really am.
Right.
I know that, and everybody that's around me and knows me well
Mm-hmm.
knows that. I knew a lot of the deficiencies like we're talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
People on the outside looking in, they didn't even have to know me very well. They could see the deficiencies too.
Right.
I wear my feelings on my sleeve. So I'm very easy to read. Yet the people that are still there, that were my close circle
Right.
years ago before this started happening,
Mm-hmm.
they're still the same people that are there now.
Right.
Because the people that will speak into your life, the people that will love you through everything,
Mm-hmm.
they will accept you. Of course, when you're at your best, so many people will,
Mm-hmm.
but they'll also accept you when you're at your worst.
Yeah.
They'll also say, hey, you need to quit doing this. You need to quit doing that. You need to work harder here. Even though you don't want to hear it at the time,
Mm-hmm.
you know they're right.
Yeah.
And all they're doing is helping you be aware of those deficiencies that you truly need to work on to come out of the ground zero that you are at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Surround yourself with the right people. Like we were talking about earlier, like you mentioned, you don't have to go hire a mentor out of your circle of influence.
Right. Right.
I'm not negating that. That is great. You need mentors. You need
Mm-hmm.
those types of people. And maybe they're in your circle, maybe they're not.
Right.
Yet, don't discredit who is in your circle.
Mm.
Don't
No.
discredit that person that is there for you when you may have nothing to offer them,
Yeah.
but they're still there for you.
There's sometimes a person that says the least in your life has the most to offer you. because they're the one paying the most attention.
Right.
You know, they're other people are so busy talking, so busy telling you everything that they think and everything that they feel that they fail to actually see you. You know, and you have people that really see you, but they don't say as much because you got so many other people talking
Right.
talking in your ear that they care enough about you not to inundate you with just more.
Yep.
You know, and the minute you allow yourself, you allow yourself to kind of quiet some of the white noise around you. That's one of those people that say, "Hey, I've noticed something," and then they come and tell you, and it's something that no one else has said to you because they've been paying attention to you diligently. And like I said, they had enough respect for you not to bombard you. And when they saw that you were stressed, they saw these things happening, these people around you, and they just, I'm just going to be here with you and be here for you. But when you need me most, I'm here. And so there's been people in my life that have been around me that have been that way, that will observe and really pay attention to what's really going on, not what you think is going on, not what you see on the outside necessarily, but what's behind the presentation that's seen.
Right.
There's a tangible visual presentation that everyone sees, but there's not the idea of what puppet is pulling the strings behind the screen. And there are people in your life that see the puppet. You know, they see the puppeteer, should I say. They see the strings. Everyone else is watching the arm. They're looking at the one that's pulling the string. And then those are the people that have access to those three areas of my life. I can be honest with them. I can be open with them. I can be transparent with them, you know, because they see it all. And they can help me get to the depth to the of what's really going on and help me cut some of these strings.
Right.
You know. And so you have to really pay attention to what's going on around you, but also who's around you and why they're around you, and then reposition people in your life accordingly, because ones that are like that, they need to be the closest to the goal, you know, because they're going to help you do what needs to be done to get there. And guess what they're going to do? They're also going to hold you in position when things get heavy. And there's so much happening around you that wants to knock you off of that foundation or knock you off of that position that you're in. They're going to hold you in place because they know that this is where you want to be, even though like everything that's coming against you is telling you, I need to move because where I am right now is hurting. Where I am right now, it's difficult to stay here. They like, no, it's difficult for you to stay there if you don't have someone to hold you in position so that you can get everything you need to break through this hindrance. Because you can be butting up against something. You could have been hacking away at this thing your whole life, and you get to the point where you're fatigued. You're wanting to quit. You don't even want to swing the axe anymore. You don't even want to swing the pick anymore. You don't want to dig any deeper. You don't want to do anything else because it's gotten difficult. The person that's with you that know all that work, everything you've done can't be for nothing. They hold you in position, or they help you in that place to dig. Where everyone else is saying, "Man, we've been digging all this time. This is the heck with it. We're done. We're leaving. You can stay if you want. You can come with us. We're going to go out here and drink something you don't need to do. You used to do. You used to be an alcoholic. You know, things got difficult. You want to go back to the things that were convenient, and you got people that'll call you back to it because they don't want to fight with you anymore. But then you got that person saying, no, we're going to keep swinging. So you need those people that will hold you in position when it gets difficult and will actually swing with you and will actually fight with you, so that when we get to a place where we're 3 feet from goal, we can break through and actually get the thing that we would have forfeited if we had to quit. So that's I mean, I probably said a lot. I don't even know where I was, but it's important to have the right people around you.
Absolutely.
Ultimately.
Absolutely. So when you have those people that you feel are the right people around you, and then they fade out of your life, and you have no idea why. You were close with them, no matter what that close is. Could have been marriage, could have been a friendship, could have been whatever. And it just fades away. Sometimes, I'm sure you've had friends in the past that you were like really good friends today, and then you never hear from them again. They're alive.
Yeah.
You know that. You might see them on social media, but as far as one-on-one interaction, never happens again. Are those just the wrong people for you, or how does that tie into somebody, you know, those were the people that would call you on your deficiencies, that would help you through it. And then all of a sudden they're just gone.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, why would they be removed from your life?
You sometimes that's a part of the self-sabotage that can take place sometimes, because there's a couple different reasons that could happen. One, it's one of those people that you didn't value what they said because you were used to them. We were talking about with the wife earlier. You're so used to them being there. So used to them being consistent in your life and being around you. And you love their company, but you didn't always love their advice. Why? Because they were the one that was going to be honest with you.
Right.
And their honesty sometimes cut. It hurt. But you had these other ear ticklers around here that would make you feel good about yourself. And they would see this. I care too much about you to stand here and watch you fail, knowing that if you know how much I care about you, knowing that everything I'm telling you is for your good. And I'm watching you take all the advice from these ear ticklers. I care too much about you to stay in your life and watch you fall.
Right.
You're going to fall. You're not going to do it while I'm watching.
Right.
It hurts me to see that happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I remove myself from your life before I see you fail.
Yeah.
You have people that'll do that because they actually care about you and they care about where you're going, to the point where watching you fail when they know you don't have to, it's easier to leave you than to stay with you and watch you fail.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you can sabotage yourself in that way where you don't appreciate the person's advice, but you love their company. They're just good people to have around you, but you don't like the fact that every time so and so happens, you got this to say.
Right.
And it's not anything negative. It's just something that doesn't make you feel good.
It's just something that's real.
Right.
Yeah, like you're talking about
right.
the ear ticklers, those people that will, it's always going to be the positive. It's always going to be, you are amazing. It's always going to be how everything you do is good.
Right, right.
Yet whenever bad times come, everything's still good. Everything's still all right. Now there's optimism. I get it. I'm a very optimistic person.
Right.
You also have to see things as they are, not better, not worse. So when you have those people that are there and everything is 100% positive all the time,
right,
you might want to rethink that relationship.
Yeah, you have to, because even if the way you see it or you perceive it, you choose to see things positively, that doesn't mean the situation in and of itself is positive. That means how I'm going to approach it. I'm going to approach it like someone who knows it can be overcome or that I can deal with it.
Right.
It doesn't mean that it in and of itself is positive, but the outcome that's going to come out of this because of how I'm going to engage it will be positive. If that means the ending of a relationship, does that mean that the closing of a business? Does that mean changing where I'm positioned in my life and what I'm doing and how I'm doing it and the circles I'm flowing in? If that means changing the job that I'm on, or switching up as far as me being in this business versus that business, changing the locale, my city, finding a new church, it could be any number of things. It doesn't mean the situation itself is positive in and of itself, because it's painful to do this. There's a lot of negativity that's happening because I'm having to tear apart relationships. I'm having to end this period of prosperity in this particular area of my life in this business in order for me to shift and be in this other position. That in and of itself, losing all this resource, isn't a positive. That's a negative. I don't care how I choose to see it, but positively, it will affect me because I'm going to take the things that I've learned here, knowing I can't stay here, to do something greater.
That's right. That's right. Oftentimes when something is taken from you, when you lose something, something greater is right around the corner. Not all the time. I'm not here to be the prince of positivity right now.
Right. Joe Osteen, I'm sorry.
Although,
I'm sorry. I repent.
Although, oftentimes it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just lose things because you're not valuing them. You're not taking care of them. You're not nurturing them.
Yeah.
But yet, sometimes you just make mistakes.
Yes, sir.
Everybody makes mistakes. We talked about it in this series last week about how everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
So sometimes you lose things because of your lack of foresight. Yet when you lose it, what if you're put in that position or a greater position again?
Mhm.
Are you going to remember what happened before? Not dwelling on it, not living in the past, not living life in your rearview mirror.
Mhm.
Yet you do have to remember the things of the past.
Mhm.
Like we previously said, fail means first attempt in learning.
Mhm.
Elon Musk had some rockets blow up.
Mhm.
He didn't quit. He was supposed to have the Tesla Cybertruck out several years ago. I know I have one on reservation.
Mhm.
Well, I just got an email a couple days ago talking about how they're about to be here.
Right.
So what happened in that 2-year period when they were supposed to be out 2 years ago and they're not coming out till just now?
Mhm.
I guarantee you they weren't just sitting around twiddling their thumbs.
Right.
They did things and they're like, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Yet they continued. They continued pushing on. They continued getting better.
Mhm.
Now they're ready to unleash that truck. If he would have quit, if he would have had people there encouraging all the time.
Right.
Now, of course, we know that his empire is a whole lot more than just him.
Mhm.
Yet, if everybody down on the baseline, if the people that were screwing the tires on was always telling everybody in upper management, everything is perfect, everything is wonderful, yet they're only putting 3 lug nuts on when they're supposed to be 4.
Right.
It's going to fall apart at some point.
Mhm.
Same thing with your friends, same thing with your relationships.
Mhm.
If everything's always positive, nobody's life is always positive every step of the way.
Right.
You can choose to view whatever you're going through positively.
Mhm.
Like you said, it doesn't mean it's positive. So when you have those people that do speak into your life and say, hey, you need to fix this, doesn't that get really offensive?
Honestly, if you're someone who offended by constructive criticism, the problem is you. It's not the statement made.
Right.
You know, so I can't call that offensive. You know, are you offended? Yeah, you were offended, but you're offended that they had the nerve to point out something where you're deficient, and you yourself didn't want to point it out because you wanted to ignore it.
Right.
You know, so that's one of those things that as we wrap this up and we begin to look at the next phase of this series that we're in, that we'll segue into that and we'll talk about that part of it where we talk about someone saying something to you that can be offensive in your mind. Now you're saying that they're the one that's being offensive, but it's actually you're the problem, not them.
Right.
And part of that discussion will be what we will be talking about next week, where we'll get into communication and the right way to communicate. And what's effective communication and what's ineffective communication, and what's active listening and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're offended by what they're saying, but you're not hearing what they're saying.
Right.
You hear what
Right.
you want to hear.
Selective hearing.
Yeah.
So everybody join us next week as we are in week 3 of operating from ground zero and learning communication to help you advance to the next level and come off of your perceived ground zero. We'll see you again next Thursday, right here, same channels, same place. Make sure to follow us.
If you guys are going to hustle, remember what we always say. We say hustle faithfully. Talk to you later.
Be blessed.
Bye.